where I had clearly mentioned that I'm on a journey, I'm on a mission to help more than 1,000 people uh, to make a shift from aspirational to inspirational leadership. It is as simple as that. So why this mission came to my mind? This mission came to my mind because I felt that whatever I have learned, whatever I have gained, if I can pass it to as many people as possible, they can and feel enlightened and they can learn, and at least they will know some experience learning that how to run faster. So in simple words, if your awareness goes up, if your awareness goes up about yourself, your confidence automatically starts going up. So the whole idea is that these programs that you're attending live over this sessions, they will help you to create some amount of awareness within you. And once that awareness is awakened, you feel that you are confident to do many things. And I will share some examples that how our awareness level goes up. But if you really want to make that shift from aspirational to inspirational, first and foremost is it begins with you first. Because if you are not ready, nobody on earth can help you. No one can help. I mean, the best videos, the best learning tools available today will be of no use if you are not ready to, change yourself, or you are not ready to learn. And my first question to all of you is, do you want to change? Do you want to bring that change in you? Because if that is something burning in you, then not only this program, but after this program and many more things that you are going to do will create a huge impact to all of you. That's a promise. That's a very, very simple promise that I can tell you, that once you're able to do this. Now, I always share, that one of the one of the most important thing what I'm going to ask you is that why do people change? That is the question that I really want to touch upon. So my question to all of you, what prompts you to make changes in your life? I repeat, what prompts you to make changes in your life is an indication that the current way of doing things are not working for you. So it is as simple as that. You are actually feeling some pain in your life and you want to get away from that pain. And that creates a change in you. One of the reasons that some of you could be here today, because you must have had gone through various challenges, you must have gone through various ways to work on it, and probably you thought that, okay, let me go and attend this program. Maybe I'll get something today that might be of some use to me. And precisely, so I repeat, what prompts you to make changes in your life is an indication that the current way of doing things are not working well. And what happens when things don't work well? When things don't work well, our confidence get eroded, because when we try repeatedly many times and we don't get the desired results, we feel demotivated, we feel disheartened, we feel loosened up. And at that time, trying anything new also becomes very difficult, because you can't take risk at those times. Why you can't take risk? Because you just had an experience where you were not successful. And when you can't take risk, you again get into the cyclic form because you are not motivated. So what's the reason why it happens? So very simple. The reason is that as human beings, we don't realize that God has gifted us certain resources within us. These are called inner resources. And these inner resources are there within us, but we don't know where they are. And second very important point is that we don't know how to find them. And when we are not aware that where they are and where to find them, we struggle. So there are only two things can help you, at that particular point of time when you are struggling with yourself, when you are not able to achieve anything that you are looking at. One, faith in yourself. Have you got faith in yourself? Now, this is the problem that, a lot of us loses the faith, because when we lose the faith in ourselves, we forget what inner resources we already have. And secondly, your ability to learn. If you have the ability to learn, that means you are inquisitive, you are curious about what's happening in your life, because every failure that we come through gives us a lesson. Now, it's in our part that whether we take the lesson from the failure or we take that failure as a part of our life. Now, people who take that failure as a part of their life, they remain in the past. They keep thinking about how you failed at certain things, how continuously you are not able to achieve it because they live in the past, or they live in the future because they are always worried about whether I'll be successful, whether I'll be able to achieve something. So in other words, they talk about uncertainty. So people flip between these two areas very often when they talk about uncertainty, when they talk about the past. Now, if you have faith in yourself and if you have ability to learn, you will be able to find those resources which are always within you. What are these resources? God has gifted us faith, courage, optimism, honesty, compassion, humor, forgiveness, freedom. We all search these things inside us, and you would realize that whenever you are trying to do these certain things that you feel good about it, you will find that some of these resources have worked really well inside you, and I simply call them muscles of your soul. If you know how to use your muscles, but for that you need to practice and build certain muscles. Like we go to the gym and we get instructions from our instructor that you need to do dumbbells thrice a time, I mean 3 sets, 5 sets, and he will keep rotating it. So like we strengthen our body outside, do we or are we strengthening our mind inside? Today I'm going to share some very interesting facts that how and why it is very important to train your mind. Okay, first thing, software for the brain. Now if you really look at this particular piece, there is a lot of interest with a lot of psychologists these days about computers, and also they talk about brain versus smartphone. Now, let's say that your brain is like a computer and the softwares are basically your attitudes and behaviors. Now, if this is the current state of affairs, and if you want to bring a change into your mental programs, like the way when you upgrade your smartphone with the new app or the new software that you get on the, what happens when your phone is loaded with the new software? Tell me, some of you. So I want you to be interactive now, and I want you to use your chat button. So tell me what happens when you upgrade your phone, when the software is updated on your smartphone, because I'm sure a lot of you would be attending this webinar on the smartphone. So tell me what happens when you upgrade your phone. Yeah, take 30 seconds and just type. What happens when you upgrade? Very simple question. Very simple part of our question. Okay, so we get newer options to explore about available applications. Okay, thanks, Gaurav. It allows to get few modifications in our current operations. So in other words, and in very simple words, what happens exactly that once your system is upgraded, you get enhanced features. And thanks, Naveen, for contributing here. So you basically you are able to do things faster. Your processors become faster, and upgradation means that you can access those things very quickly. Now imagine if the same things happens to your mental software. If you are able to work on your mental software, what impact will it make? It will have a lot of positive views. I mean, it will give you a lot of positivity. It will give you a lot of impact on your performance, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. This is what can happen to our brain as well. But my question is, how often do we really work on our brain? How often do we give time to upgrade it? Because no matter how hard and how fast or how aggressive you are that you want to change your software in your brain, it doesn't work that way. Even if you become angry, even if you become agitated, things will not change until unless you change the software. So the question is that, so let's say what happens when your computer is not working. What happens when your computer is not working? So something is, so you may go and ask uh, the expert to help you out. So either he changes his software, or he changes or he upgrades the file. He'll say that you have to upgrade your computer software from one level to the other level, or he'll add some new files or new programs into it. Correct? But what happens to human beings? What are we doing for ourselves? How we can do that? How we are really upgrading our software? Because if that is not upgraded or updated, what happens that we try to solve our problems with an outdated system, and that is one of the most important reasons that we get stuck, because giving the same instructions repeatedly does not give you the new responses, and you feel stuck. Very often you feel stuck, and the simple reason is, if you don't apply this learning of a smartphone versus your brain, or the computer towards your brain, you will not be able to upgrade yourself. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, a lot of people, they feel that they are there where they are because their software is not updated, but they want to solve today's problem with the past, and they remain with the old solutions in their mind and they don't apply it. So adaptability is one area that one has to look at it. So how effectively, another thing that reminds me while I was saying this, a lot of us become expert in solving problems or giving solutions to various situations, or we become expert in certain things, and we feel that we are good at a particular thing. But when it is asked that how to build new things, it becomes very difficult for a lot of people. This is as simple as that, how you can upgrade your skill. So first thing is, are you really upgrading and training your mind? So if you are able to do that, it will create a huge impact in whatever you do in your life. Now, the second very important area is how you are training and developing your brain. Now, at Coaching with AD, at my programs, that what I guarantee people, that whatever I am doing over here, whether through these webinars or through one-to-one coaching session, I help them to develop those programs in your brain. Why? Because our brain also forms a lot of patterns. And if unfortunately those patterns are wrong patterns, or some patterns which does not give you success, it has to be broken. It has to change. And once it changes, once that happens, you see the changes happening in yourself. So like, I give you the same example. When you try to open the software, it clearly says that your computer immediately gives you a pop-up. You don't have the access to these files. You should have the admin rights to try this. Precisely what coaching here means, that how a coach can really help you to enter. I mean, he helps you to enter in the mind and create that changes in the software, what are desired, the way the life is. So what exactly training and developing your brain can help you? It will help you to run your supercomputer, your brain, the way it is supposed to function. So every time, because even if you sleep, your brain is not sleeping, it is working. But if it is working on the wrong direction, you will be sleepless in the night. You will be aimless. You will not know where to go. So it's very, very important to run your supercomputer, that is your brain, by training and developing that part. Number two, by training and developing your brain, you can change your thoughts, actions, and feelings at your wish, at your wish, at your will, whenever you want to. If you're able to train and develop your mind, you can change your habits a lot of time. Today, I'll give you some samples of it, that what exactly I mean, change your habits. What exactly, how exactly you can change your thoughts, actions, and feelings. And most importantly, by training your mind, you are actually building profiles or patterns the way you always wanted to be, the way you always wanted to be confident in everything that you do, in everything that you do. I'm not boosting, and I'll bring people on board here soon who would be sharing their experiences where I've done one-to-one coaching. And while the coaching session is in the midway, they have claimed, they have felt the energy within them that there are huge possibilities around them. And it was only because their brain was not upgraded, they were not able to make a shift. They were just surrounded with problems. And as I said, they were giving the same instruction again and again. And they were thinking things will change. Things won't change with the same instruction. That's what I always remember, a beautiful quote by Anthony Robbins. He says that doing the same things and expecting this different results is called insanity. You can't expect different results by doing the same thing. So you need to do different things. But at the same time, you need to train your mind to that direction. Now, that brings me a question to all of you. There are people who accomplish things with ease. I'm sure you would have so many examples around you that there are people who accomplish things with ease. My question to you, and I want you to use your chat buttons and answer me, what do these people have? Tell me, what do these people have that those who are able to solve their problems with ease? Tell me, what do these people have? Take 30 seconds or a minute and respond to me to your chat buttons. Because if we really want to be successful, if we really want to achieve something significant in our life, we need to really understand that how to accomplish things with ease. I'll give you plenty of examples where, okay, number one, they have good analytical skills, confidence, different thought process, sharp instincts, great sense of urgency, superb confidence, wonderful learning agility and adaptability. Thank you so much. Their hardworking attitude. So we easily find that these people have these things, because my question is, a lot of people achieve a lot of things, but how do they achieve with ease? That's the question. Because if that thing is not easy to you, you will find that even if you start doing something by looking these people as an example, you tend to give up. You tend to give up in the midway, because you are forcing yourself to do something. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, I'm telling you, you will miss out. You don't want to do it again and again. Okay, I'm getting few more responses. They are upgrading the skills and have many ways to solve the problem. Thanks, Sandeep. Ravi is saying they think differently because of their innovative manner. Manish, they are open to success, take suggestions, confidence in themselves, whatever they can do. Thanks, Raghav. So the question is, how do they build? How do they how do they have all these qualities that you just narrated in a few seconds? Just in few seconds, how they did that? Now, uh, we will explore that in this call today to an extent. We'll try to find out how do they do it. Now, I'll just add one simple point. How do you compare your brain vis-a-vis electricity? How do you compare your brain vis-a-vis electricity? Any thoughts on that? How electricity and your brain are interrelated to each other? This is going away. Sorry. Take another 30 seconds. Think about it. If you really feel there is some correlation between your brain and electricity. Okay, positive mindset. Fast. Okay, Kshitij is saying fast responses in both the cases. Both work instantly. Thanks, Raghav. In both the cases, information current transmits super fast. Wonderful. Current and neurons. That's interesting. Precisely. Now, I'll just add. Thank you for your responses. Now, I'll just add. So, what electricity does? It just switches on your computers. It brings that kind of. It gives the power to make certain things run. As simple as that. So does your brain. So how you think and how you work and how you achieve things, how you enjoy things, it's all related over here. I'm sure you would have heard this comment n number of times where people say it's all in the end, it's all in the mind, and people achieve those things. So it's as simple as fueling the electricity in things which are dead. The moment you plug on the button with the help of electricity, you see the power is glowing. Same way, if your mind is not plugged properly, your body will not glow. You will be like a standing, I would say a standing body only. You're not doing anything. If your mind is not giving you that signal, that electric signal, that you can achieve XYZ thing in your life. So 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 why I'm saying so, I'll just give you some idea now. Let's play with our brain today. Okay, let's play that how our brain simply plays with us. It just simply takes us where it wants us to take. Okay, now I want you to let's try the language part. Okay, Now, what do we hear? Because our brain functions as we hear things, right? So, so let's talk about how language plays an important role when it comes to the activity of brain. How many of you really want to know this? Just type I. Let me know that how many of you are really listening and how many of you are really keen in this group. Do you really want to know that how language plays an important role? Let me see how many of you are really attentive to this webinar. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure there are many more. So that also, this discussion also helps me that how many of you are really aligned. And I want you to pay attention to this, because if you're really keen to know this, it also gives me an indication that you are with me. Because later what happens that people are not able to connect what exactly they want to say. Thanks a lot for your acknowledgement. Now let's talk about some of the most common, very common uh, points that we say to others. Okay, and help me if it really connects. Don't worry, things will be fine. Don't think about it. Don't think about that problem. Or don't panic. Don't panic about that particular customer, client, or don't panic about the situation that you have to go for an exam. Don't panic. How many of we use this kind of a language on a day-to-day basis? How many of us? And I'll tell you the magic, because how the brain functions. Tell me, how many of you, we use so many such things? Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Very often do we hear all this? Yes? Okay, great. Now, I'm sure and you must have also heard about this particular aspect when people tell you, let's say, don't think of blue color. Or when people say, don't worry about your marks. Tell me what comes to your mind when the moment I said, don't think of blue color. Tell me what comes to your mind when I said, don't think of a blue color. Just give me your response. First thing, don't think of blue color. Because every day we talk to people, every day we make a lot of statements, and our brain functions, brain responds accordingly. Yeah. So as a lot of you are talking about, it's talking about the blue, right? Now what happens when you say, don't worry about it, or when you say don't worry about your marks, or when you say don't panic? Because our brain cannot process that negative information correctly. It will just pick up the last word or the point that you're saying, which is in affirmative. Okay. So the point is that if you are able to think about that particular, if you say that negative sentence to anybody, we actually retain and remember the panic word or worry about or those things. So when I say don't think of blue color, everybody, almost all of you said it's blue color or the color that comes to your mind. Similarly, when you use the language, don't worry, don't think about it, it's all that is in your mind. So in other words, what not to think, and your brain will think of it first. What not to think, and your brain will think of it first. What does it mean? So talk about what we don't want to what we want. So move from what we don't want to what we want. So tomorrow, okay, let me hear some responses. Okay, emotions, well said. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so we don't want to what we want. So if we change, now this is a simple and the very simplest pattern. If we change, don't worry. If we change about don't think about it, if we change about don't panic into a positive statement, you will see there is a change. Now I want you, I'll give you exactly 3 minutes. I'll give you 3 minutes. I want you to think of a negative statement that comes to your mind. If you're having a pad and a pen, just write it down. Just do a simple exercise. Because if you are in this coaching call, I'm sure you will going to learn a lot, and your learning will only depend on how participative you are. If you're really participative, do this. Think about one negative statement that comes to your mind. Just write it. Anything that comes to your mind, or something that you use very often. Just write it. Just write it like this. Don't worry, don't think about it, or whatever that you use very, very often. Yeah. So once you're done, okay, done. Great. Okay, great. So don't worry about kids' future. Wonderful. So now I want you to think of a positive statement from what you want. Because right now what you have written is what you don't want. Okay. So right now, when I told you to write a negative statement, you have written what you don't want. Now I want you to move to what you want. Now write that statement and share an example here. What do you want? Write that. And share your example on the chat. And okay, please mute the button. Thanks. And once you write that, I want you to share your experience. How did you feel the moment you change that statement? Okay. The first response that I just saw on my private chat, future is more optimistic. Okay. Please write down the positive statement, what you want. This is what you've written, what you don't want. And once you're done, please share your experience here. Yeah. So if somebody has joined now, I request them to please keep your mute off. Keep it on the mute button. And I want you to write one negative statement, as simple as that, what you don't want in your life. And then you write what you actually want. Okay, done? So, okay, okay. Now tell me when you have written what you really want. Okay. Okay, great. I'm getting some responses. So how do you feel? So one Kshitij is saying there is a mindset shift. See, very simple activity. Your brain, see, the magic is all here. The moment you upgrade this software, you see that how it functions so nicely as your app, as latest app on your phone works. Okay, Geeta is saying, I feel happy and positive. Great. Anybody else? Would you like to share something? Now, what happens when you feed yourself with this kind of positivity, when you feed this kind of things in your life? So when you remain in that, you are giving your mind a direction where you want to go, as simple as that. But when you talk about, when you're worried about kids, when you are, don't do this, don't create panic, you are telling your mind to be in that mental state. And when you are in that mental state, most of the time, you feel stuck. You feel that the same instructions that you're giving, you're not getting a different response. So imagine now, the moment you change the instruction, you got a different response. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy. This simple activity has just given so much of beautiful responses, given a solution to the problem, energies, happiness, and whatever I'm doing. So this is just a sample. As simple as that. This is just a sample that we have done, and you can imagine the impact that it creates. Okay, good. So was this useful? If it was really useful, just type useful. Okay, Raghav is saying, started thinking how to overcome the hurdles. Thank you so much. So was this really useful? Just type useful. Because that also shows that you are participative, you are listening, and I would say that you are going to take action. You are going to take action, and you are going to do this simple exercise with your kids, with your wives, with your colleagues, with your teammates, and you will find that they also can make a huge impact in whatever they do. If this was really useful, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your feedback. And now that brings me to move into the very important part. Some of you may be wondering, I came to this webinar because I wanted to build a solid, positive mental attitude. And if you really want to work on this solid, positive mental attitude, I wanted all these things that I have been talking will first of all help you to understand what is this brain is all about, how it functions, how simple things can make a huge impact in whatever we do. Now, why I chose this topic, how to build solid, positive mental attitude, for a very simple reason. Whenever I talk to people who come to me for coaching, for one-on-one session, my simplest question is to all of them is, tell me one particular situation, because coaching cannot happen just by way of that you come and I'll start telling you something. Coaching has to be based on some context, on some situation, or on some areas that you are not able to solve your problems on your own. That is the reason why you come out and you ask for help, or you want to take an expert opinion. That's what I said, that when your computer is not working or it's not functioning well, you call an expert who does that work and gives you the solution. So when people come to me, I ask them the first thing, okay, tell me one of the thing, what is your situation that you are in and you are not able to solve your problem? Once I know the situation, my second question is, what is the trigger? What is the trigger that kind of demotivates you or doesn't give you the desired response that you're looking at? Number three, I ask them, what is their present response? What is their present response in tackling that trigger? Because there is something that is coming to you and you are not able to handle it, and your present response. And generally, I see that people present responses that they feel angry, or they feel dissatisfied, or they are not able to solve that particular problem. They feel that they lose their patience very fast. They feel that things are not moving. They are not feeling confident. And when they are not feeling confident, when they are not able to do it, they are not able to achieve what they really want to achieve. So that means all these things makes them unproductive, as simple as that. So this topic is very close to me. So I'm going to share something as an open secret to all of you. So it's very simple, but it's very deep. So you need to understand this with a lot of focus and take it to your learning experience in whatever that you do. However, the importance of coach and coaching will not go down, because you don't have access to certain things, and you can only experience this when you are with some experienced coach, right? So how to build a solid positive mental attitude. So you need that energy, you need that power within your mind, so that you can handle those situations with more strength and with more power and with more confidence and with more control, and you respond thoughtfully, as simple as that. So the first and foremost thing that requires, I shared some of these bits in my recent video. First and the foremost is inner motivation. Now, what is inner motivation means? That when you are focused towards your goals, when you keep the consequences in the mind, you stay on track. So if some of you had attended the last session, the motivation is of two types: one towards and one is away. So towards means that I want to achieve something in my life. That is why I get up in the morning and I go out of my bed and I work. The second kind of motivation is, I'm getting out of my bed to go for work because I don't want certain problems to happen in my life. So people will respond to their motivation basis their styles of motivation and styles of their belief. So the first and foremost is how to build that inner motivation. So the inner motivation will be built if you are very clear that what type of style that you have. Now, some of you may say, I have both the styles, which is nothing wrong. But if you dig deep, you will realize that there is one style which is more dominant than the other. So when you are focused towards your goals and you are keeping the consequences in mind, that, okay, if I'll not perform to that level, what will happen? If I don't achieve that thing, what will happen? If I don't lose weight, what will happen? But at the same time, you also imagine that if you achieve your goal of X, Y, and Z, you will be able to achieve something bigger in your life which others are not able to achieve in and around you. And I have experienced this thoroughly with various things that I have done in my recent past, whether it remains to my sports, my running practice, or the new adventures that I always do. So what is important is that high performers, successful people, outstanding people, they not only want to perform better, but they also want to compete with the best. So it is nothing to do that I want to do it only for myself, but I want to compete with the best. So this is what thinking with the help of their inner motivation they keep in mind. This is number one. Number two, the value of high standards. Now, people who are really, as I said, those who are high performers, those who build things strongly, they don't accept anything less than their potential. Anything less is unacceptable to them. So if you are going to work, if you are going to achieve something that you really want to, and if you're just going for the sake of going, you will not achieve anything in your life, and that is what you don't have that positive mental attitude. So if you really want to build that positive mental attitude, you have to set your own standards. You will not come down in your energy or in any step that you take. Your level has to be, so you will not settle less than 100% in whatever you do. So people who are successful, they don't lower their standards, they go for more, and they know their capabilities, and they know that how to build on that capabilities. So in my previous sessions, I shared that, a lot of time people get stuck when they want to achieve something significant, big in their life, between two important thoughts. And those important thoughts are, unrealistically they become optimistic, or unrealistically they become depressed. Because when you become unrealistically optimistic, you feel that, okay, I will be able to achieve anything in my life, and there is nothing that can stop me. And next day morning, they don't even get up. Or unrealistically depressed means that they feel that I cannot do this. This is not what I want to do. And that is where they start giving excuses. Now, these excuses are towards the fears that they have there in their mind. So important thing is, when you bring high standards to whatever that you do. So look at any outstanding personality, whether it's a sports person or a politician or anybody who is making an impact in your life, whether it is your father, parents, wife, your boss, your managing director, or something that whom you admire to, they come with that kind of high standards. They don't expect or accept anything less than 100% in them, and they go for more always. They are not limited. Okay, I have achieved this, so this is no. They will challenge themselves to always go up, always go up, always go up, always go up. And when they do that, you never know how many people around them are getting influenced by them. So that's the power of energy that you bring in terms of high standards. Next is very important. What happens when you look at big things? You get really bogged down, because if you really want to achieve something big, you need to break it down into simple and smaller tasks, step by step, one at a time. And once you are able to achieve smaller steps, they become your smaller goals. And when you are able to achieve those smaller goals, you get satisfaction. So as I said, if I want to run a 42-kilometer full marathon, I can't. Even today, while I'm speaking, it becomes very difficult for me to imagine that I can do that. When I go back 5 or 6 months back, when I ran my first 5 kilometer, it becomes very easy because, oh sorry, it was very difficult. It was really very difficult, because even thinking about running 5 kilometer will scare me. And today I run close to easily 30 kilometers at no time. So what I'm saying is that if you chunk down your goals, so from 5 kilometer, 10 kilometers, slowly, slowly, and slowly, and once you start achieving those milestones, it gives you a lot of strength. It gives you a lot of satisfaction, and ultimately it gives you a lot of motivation that how you can achieve small things that will take you to the bigger things. Okay. So this is the third very important point, that how to build solid positive mental attitude. The next is very, very important, combining present and future time frame. Now, what happens is I have seen a lot of people who are successful. One of the very, very important ingredient in them is that they remain present to what they do. Are you getting my point? What is the meaning of remain present to? That means that they are neither in the past nor in the future. So I remember, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's a famous bodybuilder we all know, a famous actor. He said that if you are present to something, you will gain 10 times more when you are distracted. So that means a lot of time when, like, I'm speaking right now, and there are some people, and it is not that they want to be like that, but they may go in the past or they may go into future, and they don't remain present. When they don't remain present, they don't absorb things. So it's not that easier also that how you remain present in your life. So the point is that first and foremost is you need to remain present and feel what you are doing, because once you are in the present mode, you would be able to achieve 10 times more learning. That is why people say, when I'm speaking, I remember in school, and I'm sure you would have heard it, teachers used to say, okay, while I'm speaking, don't write, just listen to what I'm saying. And also when people say that, in communication, when you speak, make an eye contact. Why? Because when you make an eye contact, when you talk at this level, you engage people to remain present too. And many times you would have seen that people say, oh, where are you? What are you thinking? Come here, come here, come, listen to what I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. So what they are trying to bring is they're trying to bring people to their present. So this is as simple as that. But the question is, when you start doubting, because as humans, we also have a problem that we get distracted and get discouraged when we start thinking about situations. Will I be able to achieve my goals? Will I be successful? Will I be able to repeat the performance that I gave last year? And when you imagine all these problems, you create barriers around you. And these are all pseudo barriers. They're absolutely pseudo barriers because there was nothing around it. But because you felt distracted and you went into the future point. Oh, is it? My voice is not coming. I hope my voice is coming. I hope my voice is coming. I just got a beep which says that my voice is not coming. Just type yes if you can hear me. Sorry for this interruption. Audible, audible, audible. Thank you so much. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. So when you combine your present and when you remain present and you're not worried about and you're not distracted, you would be definitely focused on your goals. So you need to clear all these distractions, and you need to remain focused to what you want to achieve. And if you're able to do that, you will be definitely able to build a solid, positive mental attitude. Next, very important, very, very important, that is personal involvement. Now, the more you are involved, the more you help yourself. So a lot of time, so I'll give you an example. One of a player in sports, he met with an injury and he went to the hospital while I was just waiting on the corridor, and he was crying and he was like shouting with the pain. And he immediately said to the doctors, do whatever that you want, do whatever you want, but this has to be done as fast as possible because I have to play. Now, on one hand, this is a very powerful statement this gentleman gave because he was so eager that he wants to be on the ground. But at the same time, he is not giving a commitment of his personal involvement in doing so. He's saying, do that fast. So if you really want to build a solid mental attitude, your personal involvement has to be very, very high. What do I mean by personal involvement? So if I am not involved in all my development, if I am not taking that initiative, if I'm not taking into my drive what I really want to learn, nobody on this earth can come and do it. Like for example, in my coaching, after my initial discussion, when people approach me, I don't go and keep barging into their life and sending messages that, would you like to come? Would you like to come? No, because, for two reasons. One, that they will feel that I'm after them because I want them to take coaching from me. Number two, I don't do that from a perspective because it will look like that I'm pushing something on them. And when you push, people don't buy. So it is as simple as that. If you are personally involved, because it is something that you want in your life, you will see the changes also happening in your life. Now there is a very important observation that I have seen, and studies and research has also shown that sometimes it happens that when you are under the company of some experts, because people or maybe you are, let's say you are working under a boss or under a mentor or under some superior who is an expert in his field, because over the years that person would have built that kind of expertise in doing certain things. Now what happens in such situation, some people become passive. They feel that it is not, they can't contribute too much and everything will come from the expert to them. But that is wrong, because that is where you are withdrawing yourself and your personal involvement goes zero. Or sometimes I've seen that people become rebellious, because when they are under such expert they feel that they are feeling suffocated. And again, that is wrong, because that will give you a lot of demotivation and wrong thought process. So very important is your personal involvement. Okay, I'll give you another example about personal involvement. Now what happens, let's say you are a part of the team, and you have been involved in various activities, but on a particular day when the team was supposed to perform, you were asked to sit down. You are asked to sit down on the bench while the team is performing. Tell me what happens. I'm sure, has it happened with any one of you? Let's say that there's a match going on, or there is a performance that is a team performance where you are all involved in practice, and on that particular day when you had to do this, you actually were asked to sit on the bench. You were not a part of the activity. What happens at that time? What do you think at that time? Think about it. Just type. Okay. Frustrating, angry. Yeah. Because though you are a part of the team, but you are not playing, and your involvement in that entire achievement, you feel depressed, your moral goes down, because you worked out very hard to achieve whatever you want to. But when you're sitting here and when you are not personally involved, you are disappointed. It looks like, though you are a part of the enjoyment, but it is not that you have contributed in that. So the point I'm trying to make is personal involvement creates your influence into the subject that you are in. So if you're not personally involved, you are not going to achieve much. You are going to remain stuck. So it's very important that you need to build that personal involvement in whatever that you do, right? And the last and the very important thing which I've also shared is self to self comparison. Now, a lot of us, we fail because we start comparing it with others. And when we start comparing it with others, like I'm sure right from the childhood, right now also, I also get a message, don't compare your child with others. And even my daughter, she comes and tells me, you should not compare me with the marks or with something that others have done with others. And I'm sure this is also applied to various situations that happens in our professional life, because people say that the more we start comparing ourselves, we start feeling inferior, we start feeling less confident about ourselves, we start feeling bad about ourselves. So the first and foremost thing, if you really want to build a solid positive mental attitude, you need to compare yourself with yourself only to begin with. Because if you can really compare that what did you do good and how you are progressing over last what you did, is the best benchmarker or a measurement criteria that you can do. That is number one. But then when people right from our forefathers, fathers, and the generation, the experts, they all tell us about when you compare with others, so there must be some merit to it. So let me tell you what is the merit to it. The simplest merit to it is that when we compare to others, we should not compare about our inferiority, or we should not feel low, or we should not feel low in confidence. but we should be curious about that if somebody can achieve it, if somebody has been able to do that, how I can learn from that person and I can also do it. Because on this earth, you can do and achieve anything that you want as long as you are able to think the way that person thinks internally and externally both. So it's important to compare with others from the perspective that what are you going to learn from them? And once you imbibe those learnings, you can make a huge impact in your learning curve. Because if I don't know that somebody would have run 42 kilometers, let's say in 2 hours, I would never be able to do it. I will think that 4 hours is the best time. Or anything, that people who are high performers or high achievers, how do they do it every time? If I don't learn from them, how will I get inspired? So this is a simple way that to look into it rather than feeling depressed. So if you're able to look all these things in your mind like this, you will be able to create a solid, positive mental attitude and achieve anything that you really want to achieve. And all these six are very important ingredients. They are not interdependent on each other. They are independent of each other. But these six, you try it out in any business scenario, any sports scenario, any school scenario, any performance scenario. These six things will define the entire success story of any individual. Tell me, did you learn something? Type I learned something or I learned if it was really useful to you. Yeah? Did you learn something? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your acknowledgement that it's just added some value to your work and the space that you do. So this is something that you need to practice it, make some notes, write it down, try and practice it. And when you come to the next webinar, think about at least one thing that you would have tried. Now, a lot of time I've seen, okay, let me read some comments. Okay, great. So thanks for your acknowledgement. That also shows your presence, that you're present to this listening and you could get some observations in whatever that you do. Great. Now I'm going to share some of the programs, some of the coaching programs that I run that has helped a lot of people. Now, those of you who are interested to know about it can stay back, and those who are not, they can definitely quit. So I'll wait for 15 seconds, and I want you to just decide, do you really want to know that what programs that I run and how it has really created an impact? Then I will open it. So those who are not keen to know about it, they are free to quit. There is no problem in that. So I'll give you another 10 seconds. If you don't want to continue, that's okay. Because I'm going to share something very important, how it is really helping people to create an impact as long as you are interested and keen about it. Okay, great. So if you are really interested, let me share with you what are the programs that I run. And these are all one-to-one coaching. These are not like showing off these slides. Let me tell you, whatever that you are seeing right now in terms of slides, my coaching programs are one-to-one. It's very, very interactive. What interaction that you're seeing here is hardly 10% or even 5%, because here the whole idea is that how do we build it up. Okay, great. So people who want to quit, that's absolutely fine. So now I'll tell you what are the programs that I run. The first and foremost program is feeling good for no damn reason. A lot of people, this is the first and the foremost program that I share with people. Feeling good for no damn reason is precisely all about how you feel good inside, and also tells you how unique you are in terms of whatever that you do. And this also gives you an idea that how to remain effective and productive. Now, why I'm saying how to remain effective and productive, because whatever that you do, if you're not happy inside, you would not be able to produce outside. So one of the gentlemen who came to me recently for the coaching, he says that he's absolutely in a negative state of affair. His mind is totally blocked, as I said, because of uncertainty and challenges. He's not able to think solutions around him. With this one program, only one session, he only committed that how things have changed to him and how he's seeing a lot of change around him. And nothing has changed. The only thing that changed was within him, because I don't work on the external part at all. I only work and help your mind and your body to get synced together so that you can think more productively. So this program helps you to be the best of you in everything that you do fully confidently. So this is program number one. The program number two that I do on my coaching is increasing motivation and building commitment. So a lot of time people feel that they want to achieve certain things, but they miss out on their commitments and they don't have that kind of a motivation with it. And one of the major reasons that why people are not motivated, because they procrastinate things, which means they keep delaying things. So this program will tell you how to increase motivation, how to build commitment, and how to build commitment to a goal. So if you're building commitment towards a goal, it will give you that kind of a satisfaction that how to achieve it. And this both programs, each program costs 5,000 rupees. I'll come to the pricing later, but I'm just sharing with you. It's not that total program is 5,000. 5,000 is the each program cost. The next is how to break your own rules. Now, this is one of the very signature program that I use for professionals who are working and who feel that they are not moving forward, whereas others come and take things away from them, and they come and move faster and ahead of them. So there is definitely some problem with respect to your thinking, the way you are stuck. And that is one of the reasons, a lot of people change their jobs from one job to another, and they feel that by changing jobs, they will change situations around them. They do exactly the opposite, because after 6 months, nothing changes. Only the people faces have changed, and your problems will come and haunt you again and again, even if you change the companies. And after 1 or 2 years, they feel that this is also not the place, and they search for another company. Or else they remain where they are, but they don't move forward, because on the right hand side that you're seeing is they set unproductive patterns. I shared with you some important areas. So it is very important to get unstuck, because if you're not unstuck, you remain with that thinking and feeling, and you don't move forward. Now, what do you achieve? What do you achieve when you do this program? Number one, you diffuse or interrupt patterns. When you interrupt patterns, what happens? You start thinking new. You get new energy to think new, and that helps you to create new patterns, feel good, and forth more productive. What happens when you break your rules? You diffuse or interrupt. Okay, again, I think this has got been copy pasted over here. But what happens when you break your rules? You set new rules. You set new ways of achieving things in your life. You set newer ways to move forward where you have been stuck for many years. I've seen a lot of people, particularly this is for those people who are high performers. Now, high performers have a typical problem that they feel that they have done enough in their life, and now they either get good increments, good salary, good payments, or they get promotion. And many a times, due to this reason, I have been a victim of that. That is why I'm saying so. You either tend to get conflicts with your boss, or you tend to find new jobs because you feel that this company is not good for you. This program, Break Your Own Rules, gives you a complete new insight and take you from a level one to a next level altogether. This is a superb, life changing, and I would say that this program you should repeat. Once you are aware about this program, you should repeat it for yourself on your own, because once you know what you are going to do, you can repeat it again and again, and you would be able to. I mean, you should be doing it every year, once a year, this program, because this will give you new insights. It will refresh you, as simple as that. And this each program that you're seeing here is costing 5,000 rupees. But since this entire bucket, now there are other programs also that I have got, another 4 or 6 programs that I have got. You get another 2 sessions free, where you would be enlightened towards your goal, how to set your goals and move ahead. So this entire package of 20,000, because of the 4 programs, I am making this offer only for you because you are interested to know and you want to change your life. You want to learn something. That is why you are here for only for 10,000 rupees. These 4 programs. There are organizations where I'm doing this program for one-to-one coaching. The same cost or even the cost is higher. You can check out with the website or anywhere that you interact with me. But for those people who are interested, this entire program is 10,000, or we can choose, or you can choose only 2 programs, and the cost will be half. That is 5,000 rupees. So if you're really keen, if you're really interested, then you can write me back on this email ID, arun.thukral@hcmconnect.in, and I will reach back to you. I will share the program with you, and you will get a lot of insights about how to change your life. So thank you so much. Thanks for all your patience for being here for this 1 hour. I think it is 1 hour, 10 minutes by now. So any questions that you have, any thoughts that you have that you want to share or ask, let's take it for next few more seconds and then we can wind up. Just few thoughts. If you have any program learning that you are taking away, anything that you want to ask, any question, I will try to answer it. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks a lot for being here. Next Tuesday, I won't be here because, as I said, I would be out of station, but I'll try and cover it up. And the second important thing that is coming up for all of you is the program on personal effectiveness. That is altogether related to your interview preparation, your assessment centers if you're really looking for a job. Thank you so much and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Good night.